श्री गुरु चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी बरनो रघुबर विमल जसु जो दायक फलचारी बुद्धिहीन तनु जान के सुमिरो पवन कुमार बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेस विकार. I'm going to sing up till the verse that we're at, if that's okay with all of you. जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमित के संगे कंचन बरन विराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंजित केसा हाथ ब्रज और ध्वजा विराजे कांधे मूंज जनेऊ साजे शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगवंदन विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सिंहा दिखावा विकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुवीर हर्षि उर लाए रघुपति कीनी बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरतहि सम भाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत सहि भाई. So last time we had finished on the 26th, which actually is Sankat te Hanuman Chudave Man Kram Vachana Dhyana Jo Lave. So we had completed 26 verses and we're on the 27th. I stopped in between right now because today we're going to try and cover verses 27 through 31. And so this will lead us to one more day of finishing up to the 40 verses. If some of you remember what all we had covered, we are talking and relating the Hanuman Chalisa, its literal meaning, so I'll give you the translation, and then its metaphorical meaning, which will allow you to understand why pran, which is your breath, it is your life force, and pran vidya, which is the knowledge of the pran, which is one of the highest knowledge one can gain. It is what the yogis tapped into to reach that stage of samadhi, to reach that stage of enlightenment in the days of yore. It was through their control of their pran. It is a yoga that one does. And I think I shared that story also to you, how Hanumanji actually defined when he learned his vidya from Surya Bhagwan, that pranayam, which is Surya Namaskar, which is the yoga that we move through in your asanas that you do. Breath is a very vital part of all that. and that is the offering he gave Lord Surya as his for teaching him and giving him vidya or knowledge. So today we start off with Sab Sukh Sab Par Ram Tapasvi Raja Tinke Kaj Sakal Tum Saja. Sab Par Ram, it means on all. Ram is the Tapasvi Raja, meaning he is the Lord over all. Tinke kaj sakal tum saja. Tinke means his work, you make that effortless and you consistently do it. So the translation is Lord Ram is the greatest ascetic among us, among all the kings. But it is only you who carry out all his tasks of Lord Sri Ram. This is a really interesting, when we look at each word, it has a certain meaning. When we see it in a shloka or a verse, we kind of assume that the words were put in there just to sound good and help us understand. Yes, the gist of this is Lord Ram is the one who rules over us. It is our soul that is the guiding force, metaphorically, over this body, this version that we've come in. But it's an interesting choice of word to be tapasvi. What does it mean to be tapasvi? Tap is a Sanskrit word. It is not just what the rishis and ascetics did to gain boons from the gods and to reach levels of enlightenment. Tap actually, and I think if you've read stories when you're growing up, you would have known like these rishis standing in these very difficult one-legged pose, not eating, making these stringent austerities upon their body, upon their minds, and controlling them to get certain siddhis and knowledge. The word tapas actually means one that is molded in fire. Tap, meaning heat. And this is a very interesting concept. So I got these definitions from other places. Dr. David Frawley has written in a book called Yoga and Ayurveda what really tapas means. It is the spiritual transformation of the human in which tejas, which is brilliant knowledge, transforms into ojas to produce pran. Very interesting words. Tejas means brilliance. It is like the sunlight, right? And I have already told you about qualities of sunlight. It can be warm, it can be burning, it can be just soothing and just light, brilliant light that doesn't carry heat. Ojas is your aura or the light that you exude out. So what Dr. Frawley says, tapas is the spiritual austerities one does so that your mind is purified to such a form that it is so brilliant that you exude light through your body. Even Yoga Vashisht says anything can be created by human effort of will and persistence, which is known as your purusharth. So purusharth is a word that's used quite often. And we say this is your purusharth, meaning if you put your thought and your efforts into something with great determination and persistence, anything is achievable. We say that anyways. We tell our kids that, we tell ourselves that. If you wish to achieve something, what did Malcolm Gladwell say? He said, take 10,000 hours, put it into an effort, and you will reap its benefits. Similarly, yoga, meditation, these paths, if you put your effort into it, you will receive the fruit of it. And who reigns over such tapas? What example did Ram set to us as a human? We're not talking about this metaphorical, but as a human. He came in, he obeyed, and he was the follower of truth. When his father said, I have given you the kingdom, you are the next heir, he said, you have already given a promise. Your word you must stand by. If you lie as the king, what will your followers in your kingdom do? And so he goes into tapas. He leaves for 14 years, in which in the forest he performs so many austerities. What does that teach us? He goes through 14 years of training. And when he comes back, he's ready to be king. In any effort we take in our human lives, we have to prepare ourselves. We can't just expect gifts to fall into our lap, right? Without will and persistence, you won't be able to move forward or gain anything in your career, in your family, in your social, your any interactions we have. One has to put that concerted effort into it. So this is what they say. Who helps you in that? Tin ke kaaj sakal tum saja. You are the one who assists and does the tasks. What are these tasks? If you are sick, do you think you can go to work and produce something? No. When your pran is weak, you cannot. Pran is the energy that we have that allows us to do the tasks of the day, that allow us to produce the things that we need to produce. And then even at night, Pran is the one that detaches you from this body and allows your soul and your subtle body to rise and recharge in the light of the universe. It is what we call sleep, our resting state. So it is Pran that is the assistant, the worker, the servant of God. और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे. Or मनोरथ. Or means and. So there's an abundance here we're talking about. It doesn't just start with मनोरथ जो कोई लावे. Manorath. Man means mind. Rath means chariot. In the chariot of your mind, whatever you ask for or desire, Soi amit jeevan phal paave. Soi, so that amit jeevan phal paave. You give unknown wealth, fruits of our desires. So anything you desire, we desire, if we ask Hanumanji for it, he gives it to us. So let's go back into the metaphorical and how does it apply to us as a human being? Or a manorath. So this mind of ours we've talked about, we need to control a bit because it is on this field, on this chariot, swiftly as it goes, desires are created, thoughts are created. Constantly we are creating things here. And we ask them to be fulfilled. And we offer it to Hanumanji. Hanumanji doesn't just fulfill that desire. I desire to have a beautiful car that I can drive. He doesn't just fulfill that. Amit Jivan Phal Pave. Amit means the Amrit of immortality. He gives you that which is beyond your asking. So what is beyond our asking? The subtle keys of here is that what's beyond our asking is contentment, happiness, that peace that does not get disturbed by the will of the world, right? These fruits he can give you just by if you learn to ask for the things that are really there. So there's a trick here. Asking also has a trick. Not all desires are bad, right? So what do we do? Like I'm sitting here and I know I have like, oh gosh, I have this desire. Like, and I want this to happen. And I wish I could do this could happen or this would happen in my work. All of these come out. What you have to learn, the subtle key of it is, if you learn to appreciate them without attachment, meaning when we create desires, they can be good and bad. You know, the desire, let's just take the desire for a car. I want this beautiful car. Is that desire there wrong? No, it is not wrong to have desires. So many of us are told material desires are not good. Squish them down. That's not what a holy person does. If I had the car, I could go and probably go to work, make money. I could also use it to then go ahead and do seva for others. It would allow me to be the earnings I have to use that money to help others, right? So not everything is wrong. So one has to learn the subtle key of desires, bring them to a level that is sustainable, right? And then offer them. As in the Gita, if you offer those desires, the fruits of those desires are not attached to you. You get a Bugatti, you end up getting a Porsche. The fruit, a car is a car. Your desire will be fulfilled. What you do with it and how detached you are from it. That is the crux of what we need to learn. And Hanuman teaches us. चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा. Charo yug. This is really deep. So yug means time. You might have all heard of the yug. There is Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, Kal Yug, and the Sattva Yug. So in these four yugs, you will notice what happens in those times. So in the first yug, what was the battle of the evil? What were the desires people were fighting for? It was between the Devlok and the Asurlok, two different worlds, right? And in the Treta Yug, it becomes a little closer. It is on this earth between Ravan and Ram, a king and another king. So now we are on one world and now we are fighting evil that way. In Dwapar Yug, when Krishna comes, who is the battle between? It becomes within the family. Within our family, between cousins and brothers. In Krishna's family, it became his entire family started fighting. Those are the signs of Kali Yuga, that you cannot exist within your microcosm. And in Kali Yuga, where do we say the evil resides? Within each one of us. We are fighting the battles within us. The Ramayana is occurring within you. The Mahabharata is occurring within you. You are constantly trying to see, I wish to be a good person. I wish to do this. And yet, when things come in front of us, it doesn't fall in that place. You get angry, you get jealous, you get envious of somebody else's gains. All these things are thoughts that exist within us. We are fighting our own demons. And in order to do that, what is it that Hanuman is? Hanuman is that who exists in all time. Charo yug partap tumhara, meaning you exist and rule in every time. Hanuman was given this beautiful boon, and I wish to, I think in the next one I'll be able to read it to you. We are currently on, yeah. So when I get there, I'll read it to you. चारों युग प्रताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा. Your splendor and your existence is in all the four yugs, and your glory is renowned throughout the world. So this is the meaning of this, the 29th shloka. The next one, the 30th says, Sadhu sant ke tum rakhware, asur nikandan ram dulare. Literally, it means sadhu and sant, those who are the learned ones, the saints of our time. You are their protector, rakhware. You protect them. You protect them from all the things, the negative things that come towards them. Asura nikandan ram dulare. Not only are you the guardian of saints and sages, you are the destroyer of demons and adored by Lord Ram. This is also a very, very interesting stanza. Who are the sadhus and sants? They're not just physically the saints that we're talking about. They are the good thoughts in us, the things that we are imbibing, the austerities, the practices we are taking upon. He is the protector of those, meaning let them flourish. Because remember, what does he do? On the 2 levels up, और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे. Meaning you give us that which we don't even know about. We cannot even describe. And so in this one, the good things that are coming up in us, he is the protector of those. Now, does he physically destroy the asurs? No. We talk about it. Asura Nikandan Ramatulare. It's an interesting combination. He actually helps you transform them. That is the beauty of knowing Pranvidya. That these inevitably negative thoughts and negativity will arise in us. That's part of nature because it exists. Your karma come from past lifetimes, and some of them will sprout now. Some of them were sprouting from earlier actions you had taken. Unknowingly or knowingly, you will bear the fruits of those. So what his ability is, when you surrender to Hanuman or you start practicing meditation, is you start changing and transforming them. This is a really powerful, powerful stanza. I want you to think about the meditation we did briefly. When in meditation, there are stages of it when you learn to like take your breath in, you calm your mind down to a stillness. Samadhi or reaching the higher states of reaching your higher self, touching your chit, beyond your manas, your mind that's constantly going, is the ability to be the seer, to be the witness of yourself. So when you sit in meditation and your sankalp of like, here it is, here's my desire, my wish, and you see it bear fruit. When you see, okay, I'm struggling with this, I constantly cannot get over this one person, they always instigate like anxiety in me. How do I deal with it? What is it? When you start questioning that, you are transmuting your actions and your thoughts. You are trying to figure out, well, next time when this occurs, how can I overcome this? I can't just shut it down because that's not going to happen. Because inevitably, you will be confronted and you will be blasted. That is the law of the land. Okay, so how do we go to becoming a transformed yogi? How do we become that saint? This is how. When you take the asurs and you become Nikandan, means you bring them close and you transform them. And so this is the part where I tell you, when you meditate, spend time in reflection and let your higher self speak to you, to guide you, and that is your guru. That your higher self will show you the path of how to transmute those negative feelings or habits or actions that you normally take. It will show you how to start subverting and transforming them. Okay, so the next one is 31. अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता. Oh, this is my most favorite stanza, and I want to share something today. So it's really interesting. We just finished the Dash Mahavidyas with that course that I'd done with everyone, and some of you who had joined in, and it was about Devi. And how powerful is Devi? She is the one that actually the universe originates from. She is that fire that I talked about, that fire column that Shiva said, I am born from here. Um, and so today was really interesting is that the message I got is that when you wish to get closer to Devi, Lord Hanuman takes you there. And this stanza stands out very beautifully. Ashta Siddhi no Nidhi ke data. Ashta means 8. Siddhis are powers. These are powers bestowed upon us that allow you to do superhuman things. So the 8 siddhis and the 9 nidhis. No nidhi. No means 9. No nidhi ke data. Meaning you are the ruler of those. Who gave you those? Asbardeen Janaki Mata. Asbardeen, meaning it was Janaki who blessed you with these boons. So mother and Devi Sita was basically when Hanuman came to them, she blessed him saying, you will forever be Lord Ram's servant. And in doing so, she blesses him with 8 siddhis and these 9 types of devotions. I wish to tell you, I'm going to read what these siddhis are because it was really interesting. And then each of them translates metaphorically. So let me read to you what they are. The first siddhi is anima. Anima is the power to turn into a tiny form as small as an atom. Do you remember we talked about how Hanumanji comes to Sita in Sukshma Roop, that tiny form? This is his ability to shrink down. Anima is to be ability to become so tiny. Emotionally, this is the power to make oneself humble. Remember, he didn't want to scare Sita, and he comes in this form as a form of respect. So humility comes. The siddhi of being humble is the first siddhi that we talk about, anima. The second siddhi is mahima. Obviously, mahima means gigantic form. It's the power to turn large. Physically, it grants the yogi immense strength to overcome any counterforce on his path. By the way, when I give you these, there's so much deep knowledge here. I don't have time to cover everything. So when you learn, I'm learning pranayam right now, some of the pran vidyas, and it is amazing that the 5 essential breaths that we talked about, I might have mentioned before, it is how these yogis can exist where they can lower their heartbeats and their blood pressure to be living in these extreme temperatures, walk on coals and fire. It is all these powers that they have come from the breath and how they're able to control their breath. So going back to number 2 is mahima. It is the power to, it's the counterforce on the path of the yogi. It allows him to take on this. This power is emotionally is the one that you need to become a leader, to lead large groups and masses of people. Mahima is the power to envision and think large at a macro scale. Number 3 is garima. Garima is the power to turn heavy. A yogi uses the siddhi to become immovable, like a rock, during long practices. What does it mean for us? Because we are not yogis. Garima is the power to stay grounded, right? In one's decisions and in one's course of actions, right? It is your resolve. It is not will. It's the ability to stay grounded. That this is the direction I'm going and I shall move forward in this direction. So it's a resolve that one has, and I will continue no matter the obstacles. So we did Anima, Mahima, Garima, which is weight. Now we come to Laghima. Laghima is the power to become light. Not light as in like I don't weigh anything, light as in sunlight. Yogis undertake this power in order to do interstellar travels or teleportation through this siddhi. It is the power to become into the form of a light and soar and basically travel through their third eye and do interstellar travel. What do we do? For us, Laghima means one who helps one to transcend grief. Isn't that interesting? So, personal grief, immense loss, you feel the heaviness of that when you have it. What allows you to overcome that is light. So, this power that allows the mind to rise like an air balloon or rise up, it gives you this light. It also helps us in materializing our deepest intents into reality. So that is the power of Laghima or light. Number 5 is Prapti. Prapti means the ability to obtain something. Prapt karna. Yogis use this siddhi to bestow material articles of value and comfort to their disciples. Sri Satya Sai Baba used to do this, actually. A lot of times it's also what he would do to help people with medical issues. It's the ability to obtain something by moving his body physically and becoming omnipresent, obtaining the physical item and bringing it for his devotees. Many other saints have also done this. Brahma Rishi Sri Guru Vandan Swami in India also did certain miracles like this. So prapti is the ability to obtain. 6th one is prakamyam. It is the power to be mobile and flexible. So prakamyam enables yogis to travel through space and time loops. I'm saying these things, you may believe or not believe, but it does happen. And so and I'm reading it off of you from the text that I have over here. Yog Vashisht, he was a master. He's written the Yoga Vashisht treatise, and he basically wrote that in about 500 BC. It describes such realities layered upon our earth reality and linked in a complex matrix of time and space. Seekers are enabled to understand and empathize with many layers of such realities that form within individuated minds and egos of people who surround them. It enhances the ability to comprehend and resolve problems of fellow human beings. What I would say is empathy. So, our ability to empathize and to help resolve issues that others might have is the power of prakamyam. Number 7 is ishtvam. It's the power to lead. So, this doesn't even need an explanation. Basically, seekers make a loving place in the hearts of the people in their circle of influence. This enables the ease of emotional existence apart from achieving their mission through least effort. It's what we say, right? So the power to lead, we already said, is where do we have that? Power to obtain. Garima also is the resolve, making us large, and leaders have a lot of garima. But in order to have followers that believe in you and follow you out of love, you have the power of ishtvam. And the 8th power is vashishtvam, which is the power to control with love. Yogis use this siddhi to compel their gods to grant them various boons needed on their path. The Saptarishis transformed. There is a story, I don't know if you know, how Sage Valmiki became Sage Valmiki. He used to be a robber. And it was the Saptarishis who gave him the mantra of Ram. And in chanting the mantra of Ram, 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 what they actually did is there was a trick played on him. And he saw these saints sitting over there, and he said, "Tell me, what is the mantra you're chanting?" And somebody said, "Mara." Mara means dead. And so he said, "You just chant this and go." The Pandit said, "Chant Mara, Mara, Mara," and you go. And he basically didn't want to give the secret away. And so Valmiki ji, who was a robber at that time, he said, "Okay, let me try this." And he kept saying, "Ram, Ram, 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 Ram. It is Ram, Ram, Ram." And he attains enlightenment and later goes on to become Sage Valmiki, who writes the Ramayana. So this is the story behind the Vashishtvam, which is the power to control with love. All of the different sages, Buddha, Christ, all of them had these powers to transform and tame the basal instincts within their devotees. This power also gives you the ability to change things and transform them in people from even bad habits like smoking and drinking, those who are addicted to that. So this is what Janaki Mata gave him. I want you to know the word Janaki. It's one of my favorite because it ties into my daughter's name, Vaidehi. Janaki is the name given to Sita because she was King Janak's daughter. Janak's daughter, Janaki. Now it's interesting he uses this word here, right? He doesn't say Devi Sita, he doesn't say Ma only, he says Janaki Mata. Asbaradeen Janaki Mata. Janaki, King Janak was a very famous king. I don't know if you all know the story of King Janak. He was a self-realized soul, and he chose to live as a king. Therefore, all his actions, all his life bore no karma. He was self-realized. His name Janak means one who has full control over all his senses and has no body attachment, no attachments of the body. In fact, he was so renowned that sage Narad, the one who sings Vishnu's praise, came to him to learn some shiksha of how he could deal with being on different lokas. He also he was in the Ramayana. When you read about him, it's just amazing. He was such a realized soul. And to make this allusion to Janaki is to say that she is the goddess who's teaching you how to let go of attachment from your senses. When what we see through our eyes, ears, tongue, experience through our skin, all this information, one can learn to become detached from that. And she's the one who's given these boons to Hanumanji, so that he may go ahead and be whose servant? Lord Ram's. Ashtasiddhino nidhi data, asbaradeen Janaki Mata. Why? राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा, so that you may always reside with Ram, and vice versa. Ram always resides within you. Sada raho Raghupati. Sada means forever, and you know that he exists in all. Hanumanji basically exists in this time. I didn't go over time and the description of how time is calculated to such a precision that our ancient yogis knew the birthday of this earth to be 4 point something billion years ago, and can have charted and actually written by the numerology or calculated the distance that science has now done accurately to from the earth to the sun. The whole, the astrology that we have, it's such a precise mathematical science that we are now discovering. So all this I say to you is Sada Raho Raghupati Ke Dasa means for eternity you exist in all the epics. I don't know if you guys realize this, but so in Dwapar Yug, you must ask, who was Hanumanji? Where was he? Because I don't remember him with Krishna and Arjun and the Pandavas and the Kauravas. Hanumanji is Dwaj. Dwaj means the flag. The flag that flew over Arjun's chariot that Krishna rode over was Hanumanji. He's in that. And in Treta Yug, you already know. And in Kali Yug, he comes, I have to look up, he comes in as, he is still present as Lord Hanuman. Now we're on to number 33. Tumre bhajan Ram ko paave, janma janma ke dukh bisrave. When you sing the bhajans of the sounds of Ram, the songs of Ram in devotion, they allow us to get to Hanuman. It's very interesting. So the word Ram, I think I'm going to share my screen. I had talked to you guys about that. Okay. So Lord Ram was named Ram not because of he was given this name obviously by the rishis who came to Kaushalya and he was Dashrath. Lord, the word Ram exists in the Vedas. It is the name of God. Ra, Ram. It is also the Bij mantra of your Manipur chakra. Ra, 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 ram, 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 ram. So when you think about it, when we go to this line that says, Rama rasayana tumre pasa sada raho raghupati ke dasa tumre bhajan Ram ko paave. What do we chant? We chant the name of Ram, Ram, Ram. It gives us power to Hanuman. The connection between right above your navel, this Manipur, this energy center that I've talked to you guys about, this chakra is a very powerful chakra. The yogis were able to use it to do a lot of things, all these siddhis that they could incorporate in there. It is also where the nabhi, they call it the nabhi of the navel, is where in Vishnu, then when he gives the order when he creates the desire for existence to happen, through his navel comes the lotus of Brahma, and Brahma then creates the universe. In Shiva, through his navel comes the lotus bearing Devi. She is Shakti. And so when you chant this area of Manipur has a lot of power that connects you to the universal consciousness. And so what he's saying is, Tumre bhajan Ram ko paave, janma janma ke dukh bisrave. Janma janma ke dukh. It's a very interesting word. Dukh is is sorrow. So he doesn't say janma janma ke karma. He doesn't say karma, right? Bisrave. That you will take care of what? You will take care of sorrows. Because it is sorrows and those imprints that we have from our previous lives that we keep creating in every lifetime. Those propel us to keep coming back to clear them off. And they keep us in this cycle of birth and rebirth. And so what does Hanumanji do? Janma janma ke dukh bisrave. You take care of those sorrows. You free us from them. He transforms them. He transmutes them. So let's go back to that meditation that you were doing, and you were sitting quietly and said, this is my problem. And it keeps coming where I I have to tamp it down. And we said, we cannot take this asura and tamp it. You have to transform it. You have transcendence is the ability to live in this world and realize you are above this world. You are not this physical reality. Cannot take, you are not, none of this world can affect your soul. You are just the observer. The next verse is 34. We'll finish at 34. अंतकाल रघुबर नहीं, अंतकाल रघुपति पर जाई जहां जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई. Antakal means when our time ends. It says when our time ends, Raghupatipur nahi, Antakal Raghuvarpur jai, jahan Raghuvarpur jai. So the place that we wish to go to is not back on earth and back again. We wish to go to Vaikunt. Vaikunt is where Lord Ram resides, where his devotees go. When he killed Ravan, Ravan was not born again. Because Lord Ram killed him, he attains immortality and arises to Vaikunt immediately. So we basically say at the end, we wish to go to Raghupati's abode, where one is known as the devotee of Hari. So we will conclude this. I know we started a little late, but we'll conclude it on 34 and finish the other ones. But I had wanted to spend a little time to tell you how beautiful are these siddhis that Ma gave. And so, and I had a wonderful time connecting today, suddenly knowing that if we wish to tread the path and understand who is Devi, what is this creation, who are we in all of this, and then you have to follow the path of Hanumanji. You offer that sankalp, you offer your efforts to Hanumanji and say, make me a better human being. And the path that he shows you is through his Vidya, which is you will always see Hanumanji in a form of meditation, because that is his gift to us. So let's conclude with 3 ohms. So happy to have seen you. I'll turn off the recording and then we can, if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.